feel tensions rising. I hear voices in my head. They counsel me, they understand. They talk to me. They talk to me. They tell me things that I will do. They show me things I'll do to you. They talk to me. Talk to me, talk to me, talk to me. They talk to me. Talk to me, talk to me.
What's up, you YouTubers? This is Harpion89 coming at you from the Duelist Den, and the voices in my head have told me it's time for part 2 of the saga of which game is more difficult to play, whether it be Magic, Pokemon, or Yu-Gi-Oh! Now, for those of you who have not watched the first video, I will leave a link to that video in the description box below. I do highly recommend you watch that video before you watch this one. Also, I recommend you watch my rant video over the same topic. I will leave a link to that video in the description box as well. Watch that video before you watch this one or the first video in the segment. I highly recommend you do that. But anyway, what these videos are about is we're trying to figure out which game, whether it be Magic, Pokemon, or Yu-Gi-Oh!, one of the big three, is the most difficult to learn. Now, what I'm doing is 1 or 2 different part segments in each video, and the game gets a point for each segment that it wins, or that I have proven that is the most difficult. Now, as it stands right now, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is in the lead with 2 points. The first point was for most pages it takes to describe how to play the game in its entirety, and the second point is for most pages it takes to describe the turn structure. And all these pages are out of the basic rule books for each game. Now, while we're on this topic, I do need to apologize to the Magic the Gathering players. One of my buddies pointed out to me and reminded me that Magic does release updated quick start rulebooks with more updated information in them every now and then. And I did not realize that there was a quick start rulebook released with some new information in it. This is mainly concerning the turn structure for Magic the Gathering. Now, in the first video, the rulebook I used showed that it took 3 pages to explain the turn structure. In the quick start guide that my buddy had me download straight from the Wizards of the Coast website, which you can see right here, it only takes 1 page to describe the turn structure. So my friend actually hurt the cause for Magic the Gathering players in this. Sorry guys, that's just the way it rolled. I have to use this quick start guide now. It's only fair because it has some of the updated information in it. Okay, so he actually hurt your cause in that section. Not that it matters, you guys lost that section anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Anyway, moving on. We are now going to go over the number of pages it takes to describe the parts of the card for each game and each individual card. Alright, so here's how the numbers stand right now. For the pages it takes to describe the parts of the cards and each card in the game, Pokemon sits at 2 pages with the lowest number of pages. Magic the Gathering sits at 3 total pages, and Yu-Gi-Oh! Sits at 18 pages. So, this is the 3rd point for Yu-Gi-Oh! In this little competition. Now, moving on from there, because Pokemon has the lowest number of pages in that section, we are going to be starting with Pokemon for parts of the cards and each card type. Now, here's the page that shows the parts of the cards in Pokemon. For the Pokemon cards, in the top center we've got the name of the Pokemon card. In the left corner, top left corner, we have the stage of the Pokemon, and just below that we have the Pokemon that it evolves from. In the top right corner we have the Pokemon's health points and the Pokemon type, whether it be grass, psychic, lightning, fire, water, whatever, it's the Pokemon's type. For the trainer cards, in the top left we have the card type, which will say trainer. Just below that we have the name of the card. In the top right we have the trainer type, and there are 3 different trainer types, which I'll go over here in a few minutes. And then at the bottom of the card it has the trainer rule for that specific type of trainer card. Alright, moving on. Page 2, which you should be able to see up here right now, goes over the types of cards. Now there are three main types of cards in Pokemon. You have your Pokemon cards, you have your energy cards, and you have your trainer cards. Now I'm gonna pause right here. Now I've discussed this with some of my friends who play Pokemon and Magic, and they agree with me that this is a fair way to do it because Yu-Gi-Oh does not use energy or any sort of mana resources. I am not going to count each individual energy type or each individual land type if it's in Magic as a separate card. They are all going to be grouped into one card type of cards. Okay, so don't fuss about it. It's not going to change my mind. I've already discussed it with some buddies, and we all agree that this is fair. Okay, so as far as Pokemon are concerned, now right now they say three different types of cards. I'm not going to count subtypes or different types of cards within types for this. And I'm doing the same thing for Magic the Gathering and Yu-Gi-Oh as well. All right, for Pokemon, there are 7 different types of Pokemon cards. You have your basic Pokemon, your Stage 1 Pokemon, your Stage 2 Pokemon. You also have your Pokemon EX, your Mega Level Pokemon, and your Pokemon Break cards. And then there's a new type of Pokemon that was just recently released called a Pokemon GX. So that is 7 different types of Pokemon cards. Then you also have your energy cards, and I didn't count the energy cards. There's a shit ton of them, but those are all grouped into one. And then you have your trainer cards, and there are 3 different types of trainer cards. You have items, supporters, and stadiums. Items you can use any number of items per turn. Supporters, you can only use 1 supporter per turn. And then stadiums are like field spells in Yu-Gi-Oh! Or enchantments and artifacts in Magic the Gathering. They stay on the field as long until somebody destroys them or their effect says that they're gone. So that's 3 basic types of cards for Pokemon. Alright, moving on to Magic the Gathering, which as I said previously takes 3 pages to describe the parts of the card and each type of card. Page 1 for parts of the card, which you can see right on the screen right now. The parts of the cards are in the top left, you have the name of the card. In the top right corner, you have the mana cost for the card, and the mana cost is how much mana and what type of mana you have to use to cast the card. Just under the picture, you have the card type, whether it be creature, instant, sorcery, etc., etc. And in the bottom right, if it is a creature card, you have the card's power and toughness, which draw parallels to Yu-Gi-Oh! Is its attack and defense respectively. And if it's a planeswalker, that's where the starting loyalty counters, or the starting number of loyalty counters is. Alright, moving on to page 2, which you should be able to see on the screen right now. Page 2 goes over the land cards. Now this actually shows 5 different land cards. Like I said, this is the most recent version of the Quick Start I could find. There's actually a 6th type of land. It is a colorless, I believe it's called a colorless Eldrazi land. It produces colorless mana. So there are actually 6 different types of land cards in Magic the Gathering, not 5, despite what this page says. Page 3 goes over a brief description of all the other types of cards, which include creature cards, artifacts, enchantments, instant sorceries, and planeswalkers. Alright, now, like in Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon, there are different creature types, or Pokemon types, or monster types, depending on which game you're playing. So I'm not going to count each individual type as a separate card. Then you move on to artifacts and enchantments. Now, artifacts is one type of card, enchantments is another type of card. Now, like with spells and traps in Yu-Gi-Oh! Or trainer cards in Pokemon, there are several different subtypes. For artifacts, you have your equipment artifacts and your regular artifacts. Regular artifacts are like field spells or continuous spells in Yu-Gi-Oh! They stay on the field until they're destroyed. And equipments are cards you can hook to your creatures to give additional abilities. Now the enchantments, there are several different types of enchantments. We have the regular enchantments, which are like field spells in Yu-Gi-Oh! Or stadium cards in Pokemon, and they affect the entire field. Okay? Then you have aura enchantments, which you can hook to players or creatures. So to draw parallels to Yu-Gi-Oh! It's sort of like equip spells is what they are for the enchantment auras. Then we have instants, And then sorceries. Instants are like quick play spells in Yu-Gi-Oh! Sorceries are like normal spells in Yu-Gi-Oh! And then you have your Planeswalkers. Planeswalkers are treated like an extra player in the game. You can attack a Planeswalker or you attack your opponent directly. And we'll get into that a little bit more later on down the road in another video probably. But anyway, grand total, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different types of cards, or 7 different basic type of cards for Magic the Gathering, which puts them above Pokemon. At Pokemon's 3 different types of cards. So right now, Magic the Gathering is in the lead. Alright, moving on. We are going to Yu-Gi-Oh! With its 18 pages of descriptions here. Now you're probably going to argue that that page number is wrong. I disagree with you here, okay? And I'm sure a lot of other people would disagree as well. But anyway, it takes 4 pages in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Rulebook just to describe the parts of the cards. Page 1 and 2, which you should be seeing up on the screen right now, shows the parts of the cards for monsters. Now monsters, in the top left corner you have the name of the monster in the monster name box. In the top right corner you have the attribute of the monster. And the rulebook says there are 6 types of attributes. There are actually 7 different types of attributes. However, the divine attribute, which is not shown in the rulebook and it has never shown in the rulebook, only qualifies for 3 individual monsters. If you play Yu-Gi-Oh! You know what they are. If you don't, it is the 3 original God cards. If you want to know what they are, just do a search for Yu-Gi-Oh! God cards and it'll show it in the Google engine. But there are actually 7 different types of attributes, not 6. And that's always pissed me off because they never put divine in there. Okay, anyway, underneath the attribute, as you can see in the pictures, there are stars. That is the level of the monster. Okay? And later on when we get into talking about each individual type of card, which I'm pretty sure I'll be doing in a later video, I'll describe why the levels are important here. Now, on that same line where the levels are, there is a type of monster called an Xyz monster, and we'll go into that here later on in the video. They have stars on the left side instead of the right. That's because Xyz monsters don't have levels, they have ranks. So their stars are on the opposite side. Just underneath the picture on the card, in the description box, it shows the card type, which will usually say monster and then its subtype like fusion, effect, things like that. Then in the bottom right, you have the card's attack and defense points. Alright, next up on pages 3 and 4, which should be up on the screen right now, it describes how to read the parts of the cards on spells and traps. Now spells and traps in the top left corner has the name of this card. On the right, in the top right corner, it shows the symbol for the card, whether it be a spell or a trap symbol. And then just under that, it tells you what type of card, spell or trap. And then right next to that, it'll have a symbol that tells you what type of spell or trap it is. Alright, now going into the individual types of cards. Page 5, which you should be seeing up on the screen right now, describes normal monsters. We'll go into page 6. Should be up on the screen right now, describes effect monsters. Alright, the 7th and 8th page, which should be pulled up right now, describes ritual monsters, which are the blue ones, and fusion monsters, which are the purple ones, and how you summon each one. Page 9 and 10 shows synchro monsters, and you should be seeing those pages up right now, pages 9 and 10. And it shows synchro monsters and how you can summon synchro monsters. Moving on to page 11 and 12, this is the page for Xyz monsters that I was telling you about. Now as you can see, where all the other monsters so far have had their stars on the right side, Xyz monsters have their stars on the left side. And these 2 pages describe the Xyz monsters and how to summon them out. Going on to page 13 and 14, which you should see up on the screen right now. This describes pendulum monsters and how those work. Moving on to page 15 and 16. This goes over the spells. Now there are several different types of spells. You have your normal spells, your quick play spells, your ritual spells, equips, continuous, and field spells. So that's 6 different types of spells. Okay, and this stuff right here is exactly why I'm just doing basic card types for all 3 of these games. Moving on to page 17, 18, this is going over the traps. There are 3 different types of traps. You have your normal traps, your continuous traps, and your counter traps. So that's all 18 pages. Now there are only 3 basic types of cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! And those are monsters, spells, and traps. Now, I could, if I wanted to, say that there are 2 different basic types of monsters, your main deck monsters and your extra deck monsters, giving it a 4 count. But that wouldn't really do any good right now because Magic the Gathering gets the point for this section as having the most types of cards with 7. So Pokemon has 3 types, Yu-Gi-Oh! Has 3 types, Magic has 7 types. So right now, Magic got its first point. Pokemon is still at 0 points, and Yu-Gi-Oh! Sitting at 3 points. But anyway, those are the types of cards and the parts of the cards. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you thought about this video in the comment section below. Make sure you like the channel, subscribe to like the video, subscribe to the channel. Get your friends on here watching these videos. Get some subscribers here. I would really love to see a bunch of new subscribers. Please, please, please give me those subscribers. I love seeing subscribers. I love seeing people liking my videos. Let me know your thoughts about this video in the description box. What you think I was wrong about doing, what you thought I was right about doing. I would love to carry on a conversation with y'all. I'll be checking on those videos often. I would love to, like I said, I would love to have conversations with people. Let me know your input. Give me your feedback about that. But right now, just to go over the points again, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is sitting at 3 points and is in the lead. Magic is sitting at 1 point in 2nd place, and Pokemon at 0 points in 3rd place. So at the end of video 2, right now Yu-Gi-Oh! Is looking like is the most difficult of the big 3 games to learn how to play. But anyway, until next time, this is Harpy89. Wishing you a good night, and I am signing off.